I still remember the sound of her suitcase wheels rolling across the wooden floor, that hollow final sound that told me something inside our marriage had already left long before she did. "Don't go, Claire," I said quietly, my hand resting on the doorframe. "You know something's off about this trip." She didn't look up from her phone. Her fingers danced across the screen, quick and secretive. "It's just a weekend with my friends, Mark. You're being paranoid again." Paranoid. That word had become her favorite lately. I wanted to believe her. God, I tried. But when you've spent 8 years waking up beside someone, you start to recognize the little changes. The way their smile doesn't reach their eyes anymore, the way they take their phone into the bathroom, the way they start smelling like a cologne you don't wear. So, I said what I'd been holding in for weeks. "If there's something I should know, Claire, tell me now. Please. Before you go." She froze for half a second, long enough for the silence to feel like a confession. Then she forced a laugh too loud, too bright. "There's nothing to tell, Mark. You're imagining things." And with that, she leaned forward, kissed me lightly on the cheek, a stranger's kiss, and rolled her suitcase out the door. That night, I sat in the living room staring at her empty wine glass on the coffee table. The house felt colder without her. Too quiet, too neat, too wrong. My gut twisted. Something in me knew. I opened her laptop, the one she never let me touch anymore. The password was still the same. Our anniversary. But the pictures inside weren't ours. There they were, Claire and him. At a cabin near the lake, arms wrapped around each other. A man I recognized vaguely from her office parties. Evan. The funny coworker she always mentioned but never introduced me to properly. My chest tightened until it physically hurt. I kept scrolling, every picture like a blade. A dinner by the fireplace, a selfie of her kissing his cheek, a hotel receipt. Dated last month. She'd lied before. She'd been lying for weeks. And the trip she'd just left for. Same destination. Same lake. Same man. That was the moment something inside me broke. Cleanly, quietly. No shouting. No rage. Just a hollow calm that settled into my bones. Closed the laptop. Packed a small bag. And wrote her a note. "You ignored my warning. You chose your trip. So I'm choosing to leave. Don't look for me." Then I walked out. I didn't sleep that night. I drove until the highway blurred into nothing but lines and noise. Ended up in a cheap motel on the outskirts of town. The walls smelled like dust and loneliness, but at least they didn't smell like her perfume. Around 3 a.m., I stared at my wedding ring, turning it in my hand. It had always felt solid, a promise forged from something real. Now it was just a piece of metal, mocking me with its emptiness. I thought about all the times she'd smiled at me lately. How fake it had looked. How I'd brushed it off because love makes fools of us all. I didn't cry that night. Not yet. The tears came the next morning. When the sunlight cut through the blinds, I checked my phone. 30 missed calls. All from Claire. Then one text. "Mark, please. Come home. It's not what you think." I almost laughed. The cliché of it, the classic plea of someone caught. But something about her tone felt frantic, desperate. A second later, another message popped up. "It's Evan. He's dead." My heart stopped. I called her immediately. She picked up on the first ring, her voice breaking between sobs. "Mark. Oh God, you don't understand. He was drinking and he drove off the road last night. The car." I sat there stunned. The motel room seemed to shrink around me. She kept talking, words tumbling through tears, about how it was an accident, how she never meant for any of this to happen, how she was going to tell me. I didn't say a word. When she finally fell silent, all I could ask was, "Why?" Her breathing hitched. "I don't know. I was lonely, Mark. You were working all the time. You stopped looking at me like you used to. I made a mistake." Mistake. That's what she called it. "You destroyed us for a mistake," I said, my voice shaking. "I know," she whispered. "Please come home. Need you." "I can't." Hung up. I drove back to the house that afternoon. Not because I wanted to see her, but because I needed closure. Needed to see what was left of the life we'd built. She was there on the porch when I pulled in. Her face was pale, eyes swollen from crying. When she saw me, she ran toward the car. "Mark, please." I stepped back. "Don't." She stopped, trembling. "I'm sorry. I swear I never meant for it to go this far. Evan kept pushing for me to leave you, but I couldn't. I was confused, and then last night." Her voice broke. "He was drunk. I tried to stop him, but he just drove off." Tears streamed down her cheeks, but I couldn't tell if they were for him or for herself. "You lied to me for months," I said quietly. "I warned you, Claire. I told you something was wrong. You didn't even look at me when I said it." "I know," she whispered. "Please, just tell me what to do to make it right." I wanted to tell her there was a way back, that forgiveness was possible. But as I looked at her, all I could see were the photos, her smile for another man, her body turned away from me. "You can't fix what you killed," I said finally. She sank to her knees on the porch, sobbing. "Mark, I love you. I still love you." I wanted to believe her. But love isn't words. It's what you do when no one's watching. And she'd shown me exactly who she was when I wasn't there. I left that evening. No note this time. No message. As I drove past the town limits, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Clarity. I realized that sometimes betrayal doesn't end with rage. Sometimes it ends with silence. A silence so deep that even love can't echo through it anymore. That night, I stopped by the lake. The same one where she'd gone with him. The water was still, the air heavy with the scent of pine and loss. I took off my wedding ring and threw it into the water. It made a small, perfect splash, like a secret being buried. For a long moment I just stood there, watching the ripples fade. Maybe, in another life, things would have been different. Maybe she would have listened. Maybe I wouldn't have doubted myself so long. But in this one, the only one that mattered, I was done being the man who waited to be hurt again. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of birds outside my motel window. For the first time in years, I didn't reach for my phone to check if she'd called. The sun felt warm on my face. The world felt lighter. Claire's betrayal had broken something inside me, yes, but it also freed me from the illusion that love could survive without truth. And as I drove toward a new city, a new life, I whispered to myself. She ignored my warning, and I finally listened to mine.